Hello and welcome everyone for another video. It's been quite a while. I'm suddenly in a big screen. Lots of changes are happening, as you can see. I wanted to give you some life updates, why it's been a while since I've actually recorded a video, and I wanted to chat you through this. Now, these are going to be some live updates and kind of my page updates. If you're not interested in this, just go to the description of the video and you can skip ahead and go to when I'm actually going to start playing some Magic. But I do think it's interesting for every one of you to just keep in touch with what I have been doing. So first up, live updates. I've been very busy lately. For people who don't know this already, I'm a full-time teacher and exams have been coming up for my students. So that's always a very, very busy period for me. However, I am also, since the beginning of this year, I'm in, I don't know how you call this in English correctly, this evening school where I live, where I basically study another course at university. And it's a programming course, so I am starting to becoming a programmer, which is me taking classes on Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday of about 4 to 5 hours. So again, very busy schedule, and I had my own exams, so I had to study on top of a full-time job and on top of keeping a small toddler alive. So unfortunately, I just haven't found the time to, in combination with this all on top of this, make videos. And another thing is that I actually am going to be changing jobs. I will quit my teacher job, and in September, starting September, I will become a programmer in a new company. So this new company is something that I'm very excited about, but this is going to bring a lot of changes. Normally, I think I'm probably going to quit my education that I'm doing right now, which means I should have more time, and actually means that I'm going to be able to make more videos. Also, I'm still going to be having my summer vacation, and in the country where I live, this is 2 months. So upcoming months, this month has been a bit less content. Next month will be much, much, much more content. I'm going to try and publish 2 videos a week. No promises, I'm going to try. But that's just something that's very interesting, and I thought you should know as compensation. Well, I think the first thing that you saw when you're watching this video is I'm in full screen. I've done some updates. I've actually bought a new webcam because I still have my starting webcam and it's okay, but I figured that I want to improve my content each step at a time. And now the channel's doing pretty good, even though we've passed 1,000 subscribers now, getting close to 1,100, which is awesome. Thank you all for subscribing and watching. And I feel like I should continue to improve my content whenever I can. And I always like it when you get to, when people are talking, it's not useful to just have a background screen, right? So this is what I've been tweaking around with. I finally had my settings that I'm very satisfied with. And it should be much sharper. It should be much better quality, this video. I hope so. Let me know if this is interesting for you. So I can usually start my videos when I'm just chatting. I can do them like this so you don't have to watch the background. That's not always interesting. So I like starting out with that. So let me know how you feel about it. If you don't like it, I can just change it again. But you can see I'm trying to improve my content. So if you have any suggestions or remarks, let me know. Now, that being said, it's time to dive into the Magic and let me show you what I've been doing recently. And I'm going to start with the Manatraders series, which was Legacy Dint month. And let's go over the deck that I played and why I think it's going to be very good. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so for today I have the Manatraders series qualifiers I have for you at the ready. So I've been talking for a while now that I feel like Infect is very good right now in Legacy. I think it's tier 2, if not tier 1, of course. I know I'm biased, but I honestly feel like that's the case. I'm not exaggerating here. I've been keeping track of my win rates since the bannings of Express Federation and White Dream Adventurer in Legacy, and honestly, it's been insanely good. Like around 70% win rate, if not more, which is insanely high. The highest it's maybe ever been for me personally since the bans and the upgrades that we've gotten in the Phyrexia set. Now, you could still think that, yeah, maybe you're exaggerating a bit, or it's just the gameplay because it's not challenges. Sure. But let me just show you that I can prove it, because in the Manatraders qualifiers, you need to have a certain percent of win rate before you can actually play in these series. And let me just hop over, shall we? Here we are. Zoom in a little bit. And you can see that I have played 21 games, and I went 15-6 for a almost 72% win rate. So these are all people that desperately want to qualify for the Manatraders series. So even in that situation, my win rate has been, as expected, around 70%. And this is like qualifying for the Manatraders. So it just proves you that this deck is strong indeed. I'm not exaggerating here. So yeah, I was very happy with my list, and I think this is what you should be playing. Now, I do want to note that the list that I played is adapted to the meta I was anticipating. So I popped it right here on screen. Let me talk to you about what changes I've made and why. First of all, you can see that I'm playing Endurance in the main, 2 Endurance in the main. I want to start by saying that I do not think you should be doing this in an open field. Why have I done so? Because I feel like in the Manatraders series I was expecting a lot of players that want to qualify that are not very, or do not very often play Legacy, are very used to the format. So decks that I was expecting were in general degenerate graveyard-based decks, Reanimator being number 1. And also I was expecting a lot of Delver. Endurance houses both Delver and Reanimator. Back when Federation was still there, Endurance wasn't good enough, so I cut it, but I've recently started testing it out again and it has been performing excellently for me. I've also started playing Sylvan Library again, so the split of 2 Ponder, 2 Sylvan Library is excellent, and that's, well, currently I think that's the best thing that you want to be doing, because Library is insanely good versus control, very good against combo, you just don't want it against aggro decks, but Delver is really not that prevalent anymore, so you have time. I've been liking this. Pretty much everything else is just standard, you know. I've just swapped Endurance for Skrells. Let's go to the sideboard. 4 swords, that's usual. 2 flusters. I'm playing triple Force of Vigors here. I just decided to cut Seeds of Innocence because Force of Vigor is just so powerful that I felt like this was good enough. But I've gone up to 3. You could still play the split of 2 Force, 2 Seeds, or 2 Force, 1 Seeds. I don't think I would ever play more Seeds than Force, but you can do that if you want to. If I'm playing Endurance main, I wanted to have Skrells on the side for when I really want to have protection spells. And you can see 3 Surgicals. So 2 Endurance, 3 Surgicals. I mean, it's pretty clear what we were doing, right? I was aiming towards the combo decks. I wanted to kill them. I just cut Ayani because I wasn't expecting control a lot in this series. And, well, it was the right call because, in fact, I faced control, I think, if I remember correctly, once. I really missed Ayani. We still won. That's nice, but I think it's clear that I made a choice here based on the meta. And in an open field, I would recommend you to watch my previous video about Legacy and play that list, because that's what I will be doing in an open meta as well. Alright, so I only needed 7 games to qualify, so we went very, very well. Let's not do any spoilers apart from that, and let's just see how our games went, shall we? Let's dive in. So round number 1, I was on the play, always nice to start with. Let's just jump straight in. This hand was bad because it didn't have any mana, otherwise it was pretty good. And this is pretty nice, right? This is a reason why you want to really have Tundra, so you can, if you want to, you can turn 1 and play Skrelv and Daze. And in this situation, I could see there's the reason why you want to play Trop first, and then Ponder to really dig for a land and play Library. If you know the matchup and it's very removal heavy, you could just start with Skrelv and protect it with Daze. It's now it's pretty much fine what you decide to do. I really wanted to go all in on the Sylvan Library because it's just so powerful. If it resolves, it's so good. And you can see my game plan here. It's all about Library. It's so powerful in our deck because we can kill our opponents so quickly. Honestly, playing Library again has been amazing for me. So we start with Volcanic, Simian Spirit Guide into Lotus Petal, and boom, turn 1, Show and Tell. I'm like, yikes. Very happy with the Daze, and it works. So I'm not gonna lie, I was already expecting that this was game over for our opponents because next turn I will have Library and Daze. So against Sneak and Show, it's already a very good matchup. But if you resolve a Library against them, yeah, it's usually game. In general, the game plan against Sneak and Show for us is you want to kill them as quickly as possible. And if you are able to stop their first win condition, if I can call it like that, like Show and Tell or Sneak Attack, you usually just win. So what I'm doing here is I'm just digging for Force Will. I have double Daze, so it should be good enough since I haven't done anything. I also have Scale Up and Invigorate, so I can't see myself losing here unless they have like Show and Tell. I can double Daze, but maybe they have like Daze of their own, stuff like that. But they went for Sneak Attack, I Daze, and I know I just win, especially with having another Daze. So enough pump spells for sure. I really didn't need the Brainstorm, but you never know. Maybe they kept a Force Will. I don't know. I don't see how you can lose, but it's better to just take the Brainstorm because you never know. So yeah, we won the game. That was fairly easy. Sneaky Show in general is a very good matchup, so I'm not afraid of them. But yeah, you just need to be aware of sometimes if they go for turn 1, it can get a bit scary if they have the complete nuts. But in general, it's a good matchup. Alright, so let's go to the second game. Let me show you the sideboarding first before I forget because people ask me. usually do this. So pretty straightforward. I'm bringing some surgicals, I'm bringing some fluster storms. You have more cards you want to take out than you want to leave in all honesty. Mainly Inkmoth Nexus is pretty medium, so I take out 4 and then I just bring in 2 flusters, 2 surgicals. That's it. If you're playing Skrelves, that's not very good either, so I swapped Skrelves for Force of Vigors. You could play, so I decided to play 2 surgicals, 2 Force. Force of Vigor not excellent, but it's better than Skrelv or Inkmoth Nexus, so that's what I did. Alright, so game 2. The opening hand is always interesting. So this opening hand, I mean, it's fine. It's not excellent, but we have 2 threats. We have Invigorate, but after we draw Force of Will, that just solidifies it. Especially with me having the Force, this means that I'm not going to ponder. Otherwise, I would have pondered, dig for days and stuff like that. You saw me here not playing Glistener Elf on turn 1, even though I had it. Reason for this is quite easily. I want to play around days the best way I can. That was pretty much it. We have Seething Song. I'm just going to let that one resolve. And they play Through the Breach, so wasn't expecting that one. Them playing Breach is interesting. Now, since I've been able to stop the Breach, I'm feeling really good here. I needed to draw a Pump Spell to win on the spot. But again, usually they can't keep, they can mulligan too deep or not go for it. They have to go for it whenever they can, because we can kill them just as easily as they can kill us. And here we just have 3 threats here, so I can just attack and kill them. Pretty straightforward game here. Just killing them quickly, killing them fast, like we should. Let's go to the next round. I hope you guys are ready for some quick games, because my anticipation of playing against a lot of degenerate combo decks was definitely correct. So, lose the die roll here. You can see my opening hand. It's okay. Not excellent or anything, but I have double Brainstorm, so you keep this. However, they go Dark Ritual into Entomb, and good game. Legacy can be fast sometimes. So again, my anticipation of playing against Reanimator a lot was correct. Of course, we do. I mean, when I'm not knowing what I'm playing against, you can't. That was not a hand that you're gonna mulligan. So sideboarding fairly easy. You just bring all the graveyard hate and all the counter magic, and then Inkmoth Nexus is bad. Skrelv is also medium, and Berserk is not really what you want. It relies on too many cards, and you will just not have. Now two pump spells on its own is just good enough. So I'm feeling fine, like cutting the Berserks. Back in the day, you would never do that. You would cut Vines, but my pump spells are, always 1 green and they will kill you. So I feel like cutting Berserk now is better, because on its own, Berserk doesn't do anything, but my pump spells do. So of course, I would like to start. Yes, thank you very much. This hand is excellent, so I'm going to keep. I have Flusterstorm and Surgical, so I'm feeling pretty damn safe. What I'm going to do here is, and this is pretty interesting, I decide to play it extremely safe, so I'm going to keep the Flusterstorm in case they have like discard. I can Flusterstorm, or I can just, if they want to have, they discard something of their own, I have Surgical, so I'm feeling rather safe. I can just play Elf next turn. The only thing that kills me is Grief into, Reanimation spell. Fortunately, they have the Grief. Now, I do still have Flusterstorm left, so I can stop them from actually reanimating the Grief. I'm going to Brainstorm first, digging for more counter magic. The days is pretty damn good, so I'm just going to play it like this. I'm not going to play Glistener Elf now, because I want to be able to Flusterstorm if I need to. And the best place to put your cards is on top of your library against Reanimator. So I've hidden away my Glistener Elf. They Faithless Looting, I will Flusterstorm that, because I feel like if they are not able, if they want to reanimate Grief, honestly, that's really okay. Not what I want. In this situation, I want to be as fast as possible. I'm deciding whether or not I want to play Daze here, the Noble here, but I decide not to. But unfortunately, they Fatalist Looting. I mean, it's still okay as long as they're not able to just play around it. We're still good. They go for Dark Ritual, which I Daze. Feeling pretty good here. I mean, not excellent. We could just, if they draw another reanimation spell that they can cast, we could die. But we did our best, and they draw Exhume, so we lose. Nothing to be said here. Reanimator does the Reanimator thing, so we lost this one. Yep, that's unfortunate, but let's go to the next one. Round 3, I'm on the draw. So let's see what's up. Look at this opening hand, it's pretty damn nice. Spell Pierce really good right now. I recommend playing 2 Spell Pierces again. I've even cut a third Skrelv in Paper Magic as well because Delve is not that prevalent, not online, not on paper. So I really like the split of 2 Pierce, 2 Skrelv. I really like that. So this has pretty much everything you want. It has counter magic. It has semi pump spell with the Film of Nobles. Keep in mind that usually, if you're able to have 1 pump spell in Legacy, you win. And here they just go nuts on turn 1. They have the Thoughtseize and Grief, and they are able to take away my Bladder Agent. So yikes, pretty damn good start. They also have Snuff Out, so yeah, what can I say? Yikes, good hand. We have Bladder Agent, so we will play that. We could still steal this game. I mean, I imagine that by now they probably have used up all their resources, and if I draw 1 pump spell, I can just still win. We do find the pump spell, so I was very happy here in this situation. They edict me, however, I still have Blooded Agents. I'm going to brainstorm twice because I really want to just find a pump spell. Fortunately, brainstorm was pretty medium. Now, they are in top deck mode on their end, so potentially I can just win through this. Here, I imagine that they will just flash in the opposition agent, but honestly, I don't care. It's 1 card in their hand, so as long as if I can just attack, I've found 1 pump spell, so if I just attack 1 more time, they are dead. And here they attack me. I'm going to say, sure, whatever. They play my Tropical Island, they play Grief to see my hand, and they concede. Yeah, smart. They want to get information, even though they've lost the game. So this is mono black. Tough matchup if they have Plague Engineer, so I'm definitely going to try and play around that. Let's go to sideboarding. What I did is that you have options here. It's not easy. So I'm on the draw. So I don't think it's about Berserk here. It's not about being fast. I need to drag out a win here. So I've cut daisies, 2 of them, not all of them, because on the draw they are worse. I wasn't sure exactly what my opponent was playing. I'm expecting some kind of mono black Helm with Khan. That's what I was expecting. So I put in 1 surgical just to be sure. Decided not to put in the Force of Vigors because if it was another deck, it could be very bad. I was definitely expecting Plague Engineer, so I brought in Swords. And that's pretty much it. So I wasn't exactly sure what I was against, and then I like just bringing in a few stuff, not going all in on the stuff that you have. Perfect hand here. Threat, Protection, Skrelv, Lethal, well, almost lethal on double invigorates, but Skrelv, giving Toxic 1 is nice. They take away Skrelv, which I thought was very interesting. Now, I think they should have gotten Glistener Elf 100%. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't make a lot of sense here, taking Skrelv. So they Wasteland me, and then they go into Dark Ritual, and I just force the Plague Engineer. They say, nice draw, which is so silly to me. You should have just taken the Glistener Elf. I think it was, yeah, just ignore these things. But I'm like, yeah, man, sure, this is on you for letting me have the creature. So I just they wasteland me twice. Honestly, I don't care. They have 1 card in hand, so I'm just going to ponder, take the land, hide the stuff that I have on top, and they concede. So I think this entire game revolved around their game plan was clear, right? Thoughtseize the threat away, and then Plague Engineer. That's it. Now, they took Skrelv, and the main reason why I don't like this is that they didn't have removal in their hand. I can see why you would want to take Skrelv if you have removal, but otherwise, I don't know, because it doesn't make any sense taking the Skrelv when you have Plague Engineer, because this is a Phyrexian as well. So if they just name Phyrexian, they're all dead. You should always take the Glistener Elf. That was my analysis anyway. So that was a quick one. Let's go to the next round. Round 4. Lose the die roll as I usually do, but that's okay. We have Sylvan Library, so that's a keep. Sylvan Library, I freaking love the card. We don't care about life totals all that much because we are so fast that we can. You've seen me previous time. I just took the life pretty much every single time. First time that you have a library trigger, I would recommend you just always take the cards. There are some exceptions, like if it's 3 lands and you can shuffle them away, by all means do so. But generally, I think it's correct to just take as much as you can and try and win the game ASAP. Okay, so again, Reanimator called it. I was really hoping to find some kind of way to prevent them from winning. So you can see me pondering, not playing Library or Agent because I was assuming that I was going to be dead next turn. I did find Invigorate, so I knew that I was going to be able to win if we are going to be able to untap. However, that's just not going to happen. We lose. This is not bad by any means. If I just check my my schedule for my win rates against Reanimator, I mean, game number 1, my win rate is like 20%. You will pretty much always lose game 1 against Reanimator. But that's just the way it goes. Reanimator needs to win game 1, otherwise they have zero chance of winning. Because what Reanimator usually does is win game 1, lose game 2, and then game 3 is the one that's that decides it's all. Okay, so let's dive in. I was on the die roll. I won, of course, and we have Endurance and Flusterstorm, so that is a snap keep. And you will see me here again playing the trop, pass. Do not overextend, because if there's a situation here where they thought seize me and they get rid of Endurance with me having this turn off, worthless. The way you win against Reanimator is by not losing in the first couple of turns. That's it. What you saw me do here is brainstorming in response to the grief. And the reason for this is that, the safest way to put your cards against Reanimator is on top of your library. Because we're expecting them to go for this card, right? And here they reanimate grief. I don't care at all. If this is a very good game plan against most decks where it's just good enough and you will win very, very quickly. But against Infect, that's just not going to work. I also have swords that I can play against Reanimator, which I bring in. Did I show you my sideboard? I don't think so. We're going to go into game 3, spoilers, so I'm going to show you my sideboard then. So we're going to have a bit of the back and forth here. I'm not afraid of this grief. I want to be able to play Endurance at the best timing that I could, which I feel like is now. They even snuff out the Endurance, which is unexpected to say the least. And here I'm thinking like, okay, so my opponent's at 11 life. I have Invigorate, so regular damage is a real threat here. I decided to, in this turn, not attack with Noble, because I want to have Flusterstorm and or Spell Pierce up. So I'm just going to chill. The Grief is not going to be able to kill me anytime soon, especially if I find swords. I will just attack with Noble once, because, again, I want to have Flusterstorm and Spell Pierce up, so not going to use Invigorate just yet. I'm going to scale up here. I'm going to slam in for 7. They're going to go to 2, and next turn they will be dead, because usually what Invigorate says is if you're going to do this on a normal creature, you just, for a quick mindset in your head, you just do +1. That's basically it. And here I'm going to Blooded Agents, and I'm really going to, what I think it's this was a smart play by playing the Blooded Agent, just see what they're going to do. I wanted them to attack me with Grief. If I attacked with Noble and I would have Invigorated the Noble, it wouldn't have been worth it. Here what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to attack with Noble and then Invigorate. However, they just concede. Interesting choice, because I only have 3 cards in hand. So it was not a guarantee that I was going to be able to kill them. So, yeah, I don't know. They just conceded. We'll take it. We would have won anyway. But, I don't know. I think they probably conceded a bit too quickly. Okay, game 3. Okay, so sideboarding, pretty straightforward. Out with Nexus, out with Berserk, 1 scale up, and the Skrells. You can see my sideboarding against Reanimator was very, very tough. Mainly because pump spells aren't that important. You need to survive turn 1 and 2, and then you will always win. That's pretty much it. You need to survive the first couple of turns, and pump spells are not going to be able to do that for you. You will not win the game against Reanimator by having pump spells. Perfect hand here. This is the control hand, right? So double 4 swords. Go ahead, you do you. I'm just going to counter this Entomb, because, again, you want to counter the first 1 or 2 spells that they cast, and that's usually just good enough. Now I will play the Elf, because I still have Force left. I don't think they have discard spells, or they would have used it on me first. I still have Force Will and Swords, so if they want to Grief or stuff like that, that's okay. Grief, Hardcast, I'm okay with this. Either they're going to take Force, which I would have lost anyway if I would have used it on the Dark Ritual, and I can just get rid of this Grief by swordsing it. Now I'm going to scale up. So they have 3 cards in hand, and they have 0 threats, and I've already dealt 6 Infect damage. So I really liked the way this was going. Again, I was able to survive the first couple of turns against Reanimator, and usually that's good enough. Reanimator can very much come back from this. I realize that, but not against Infect because we are too fast. We can kill very quickly, and again, one pump spell, that's just good enough. Even here, they entomb into Archon. I don't care because I'm still going to be able to kill them. Endurance, boom, get rid of it. But even if they had the Archon here, I would have just gotten rid of Glistener Elf, discard one card, and still be able to play Bladder Agent for the last one Infect. Yeah, one against Reanimator again. That's what you do in games 2 and 3. Next round. Again, lost the die roll. That's just my jam. So, perfect opening hand here. Threat, protection, quick way to kill them. So I'm happy with this. If you want to play in Paper Magic, I would recommend doing a split of Scale Up and Invigorates. What am I saying? Scale Up and Embiggens, of course. So against Delver, the combination of Noble and Daze is so powerful, and this is just the best thing that you can hope for. They force a Will Glistener Elf, and I just Daze. Yeah, they've thrown away so many cards. This is lovely, and they forced the Will again. So in this spot, I was like, "Wow, dude, that is freaking aggressive." They're going all in here, so they just gotten rid of Spell Pierce and Ponder. I mean, I really have my doubts about this play, starting out with the Force on a threat. I mean, I get it, right? But double forcing, that's just a trade I'm very much willing to make. And at this point, I'm even thinking about, do I even want to... I could see myself blocking this Dragon's Rage channeler. I decided not to because, you know, my hand was pretty well set up. And since they were attacking with Darcy, I felt like not blocking here is fine. Especially with me having Noble, I could just kill them if I want to. I decided that I really wanted to have another threat, so I'm going to slam in first. I put 2 fetch lands on top, which I do not want, of course. But I do like the Inkmoth Nexus. I feel like if I just drown them in threats, we should be good. So, play the Bladder Agent here. They Pyroblast. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to Spell Pierce. This is an interesting spot, and I decided not to. Again, the reason is I want to find the perfect place to win the game, and I'm imagining that there will be a situation where I will be able to scale up and then just Spell Pierce the Force or the removal spell, and that's what I'm setting up for, and I think we will see that next turn actually. So scale up because they need to attack, and I expect now bolts or some combination of counter magic. And here we have the lightning bolts, and I'm going to Spell Pierce, and they need another Force to stop this from happening, which is very unlikely because we've already seen 2 Force the Wills. So statistically, it was very unlikely that they had another Force Will in hand. Yeah, good game. Let's go to the next one. I'm on the draw. Let's see the sideboard first. Endurance, very good against them, and you bring in swords. That's pretty much it. Sylvan Library is not what you want against Delver. You take out Forces always on the play or on the draw, and then you swap Spell Pierce for Flusterstorm. That's it. Pretty straightforward. Let's dive in, shall we? So this hand is medium. It's not bad, but it just doesn't do enough. I have Scale Up Invigorate here, so 1 land, and I'm feeling very happy with this hand. Wasteland here would be very punishing, but you can't play around everything, especially since I've already mulliganed to 6, so I felt like I wanted to keep this here. We did find Brainstorm, so now I just want to dig to find another land so I can Scale Up Invigorate. I'm just chilling. They don't have a threat currently, so I just want to take it slowly. Only card I was very afraid of is Wasteland, which they do find, unfortunately. I'm going to Brainstorm end of turn, and we failed to find a land. So if they Wasteland Tropical now, that would have been a bummer. Luckily for me, they decided not to do that. But, I mean, I miss a land drop, so they're going to do it now. And if they have Bolt on Noble, it's game over. There we go. And, yeah, game over. So let's see. I don't think I did anything else meaningful this game. So me not finding the land was hurtful. I could have brainstormed to find the land where I played the Noble. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think the way we played it was fine, especially because they've kept... That way I was able to keep the Inkmoth Nexus, and I was... I knew that if I found 1 land at a given point, I still had Scale Up and Invigorate and Swords, so my hand's good. I will find a land eventually, but spoiler alert, we do not find it now. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to end the game here because this is going to go on for quite some time, and I just don't do anything anymore. Let's go to round 3. I said round 3 again. Of course, I'm in game 3. So we are going to be on the play. This hand is pretty bad, but I have Brainstorm, so I'm okay with it. This is interesting. So I actually start with Tropical Islands, and you could be thinking like, why would you start with Tropical Island? And the reason for this is very logical once you think about it. I have 4 lands in hand, so what I really want them to do is wasteland me. I want them to try and wasteland me out of the game, and it was so nice that they actually tried to do that. I'm just throwing these lands into their head and making them destroy it. In fact, I even fetch here, baiting out another wasteland in case they had it. So they don't do that. So I decided to counter the Darcy. If you can counter Dragon's Rage Challenge, you should always do that. Here we're going to ponder, dig for some threats. And this was a pretty good ponder. We find Daze, Noble, and Elf, so I was pretty happy. They didn't Daze back, so I'm just going to assume that they don't have it. I could have paid for it, so that's not a guarantee. In fact, it's probably not true what I said. I'm just going to Delver Resolve. These days, Delver is by far the worst threat in the deck. Delver. So that just shows you how the power creep has happened. Okay, so Delver flips. That's really okay. They even attack through this, so that signals to me that they have either another threat left or they have removal spells. So I'm just going to play Elf. Noble, sorry, attack with Elf. And I'm really happy with the way things are going, you know. Scalding Tarn. I've brainstormed to find stuff that I need. Pro tip, don't brainstorm too soon. I see this all the time where people brainstorm way too soon. They have Murktide. I'm really okay with that. Keep in mind, no reason to brainstorm. We boarded out Force Wills. So I want to dig as deep as possible. So unfortunately, no swords, but we do find Blood Agents, and that's also a very good card. So I'm just going to play that one. Thinking about whether or not I want to attack with Elf, but I didn't decide not to. Now, Murktide is only a 4/4, so that's not by any means going to kill me quickly. I really need to save my Blood Agents. However, I want to keep this Invigorate, because again, if I find one pump spell here, I know that we win. So they Daze here, I pay with it with Noble. And this is funny because this just happens all the time. I recommend you to always pay for your opponents, or always pay for your own spells with your lands, because people always forget that Noble Hierarch taps for mana. It's so funny. So they kept Force Negations. I Veil a Summer. They Spell Pierce, but I can pay for it. It works. We draw swords, so all good. Yep, we just annihilate them. Very nice indeed, especially the swords draw in case anything would still go wrong. So nice. Beat Delver also. Let's go to round 5 or 6. We'll see. So it was round 6. We are on the play. So of course I would like to play first. I would like to start. So that was an interesting hand. I only had Skrill, but if you don't have cantrips in a hand like that, you can't keep. I had too many green cards here. Now this hand's perfect. We have Sylvan Library, so that will win me the game if I draw a land. I don't want a mulligan. Sure, I could get a bit destroyed here if my opponent is able to kill me quickly. However, I'm playing against Reanimator, so I just needed to force immediately, and we lose the game because the Brainstorm does not find a land. Yeah, nothing else to say here. I'm just going to show you that we didn't do anything else. Fetch, looting. They have Archon, and if they are able to reanimate it, I'm going to concede. Check my hand. Reanimate. Boom. Good game. I got Blood Agent because it was in the graveyard, but I have to sacrifice it with Archon, so I concede. For people wondering. Alright, again, we lose against Reanimator game 1. Don't feel bad. Happens all the time. That's what the deck is designed to do. Let's win games 2 and 3. Not going to show you sideboarding. It was the same thing as we did against the previous Reanimator decks. So, opening hands is the most important thing here. Look at this. Perfectly fine. Against Reanimator, you take a control-y game style. So, if you have this opening hand, just keep. It's really, really good. Again, if you're able to stop the turn 1 or turn 2 against them, you just win. Especially after we draw Surgical. Honestly, I can't see us losing from this spot in any way. Entomb, sure man. Go ahead, that's what I wanted you to do. Just chilling. waiting them to try and reanimate it. We draw Endurance as well. Who needs Infect when you have these cards? Faithless Looting. Yeah, I'm going to stop Faithless Looting from happening. I just don't want them to find this card at this point, because I feel like they probably want to try and reanimate soon, because you know, I can win out of nowhere as well. So I guess right now it's safe for them to just chill. Now with me having found Scalar for Endurance, I'm happy with them having Faithless Looting, so I'm just going to let them have let it resolve. They grieve, can't have that. Now they petal. And here they're going to go for Show and Tell, which was an interesting choice. I just daze because I want to keep my force if I can. Feeling pretty good here. Endurance, get rid of all of that. I can do that now. And I still have Surgical left, so I was feeling pretty good. Just going to slam this scale up, so I want to kill them ASAP. They have Archon, get rid of that, and we win. They have Iona in hand, so their hand was pretty good. They had a lot of stuff going on. Keep in mind that they got rid of double Show and Tell, so that was scary. Yeah, we just win with regular damage. I can hardcast Force here in case they have anything else, but they do not. Game 3. Endurance really paying off here. So opening hand, pretty good. I have Swords and Surgical, especially when you have Surgical. Just keep sure if they have discard spells, that sucks, but very often just have to go for it. And turn 1, Reanimate, I Surgical, and we win the game. Easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We draw Force, and they concede. As I said, Reanimator is... You win against Reanimator by not losing the game in turn 1 or 0. That's a summary. Alright, next one, so round 7. Lose the die roll. It happens. Pretty good hand. Brainstorm, Threats, Great Berserk, Days, so I'm fairly happy. Especially with me having drawn Glistener Elf. That's where you want to be. Planes usually signals initiative these days. So I'm like, please just play a 3-drop so I can annihilate you. Which they do. It's not a 3-drop, but it's the same thing. They play Dungeoneer. My turn. Boom. Get him dead. You have to do this. Sure, if they have Solitude, that sucks, but you really can't play around Solitude too much against this deck. Especially not since you're only playing 2 Skrells. You just have to go for it. Also in this spot, they tapped out. If they would have used Endurance, they would have lost another 2 cards, 1 card left. I was willing to take that exchange if anything would have gone wrong. So I hadn't seen red cards, so I was unsure if this was mono white or white red, but for sideboarding for us it doesn't change all that much. You want to bring in Swords, that's pretty much it. Not a lot you can do against them. I'm on the draw, so Days is pretty bad. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I also took out Berserks, not the best card that you can have. Spell Pierce, not excellent. You want Force of Vigor for when they have Chalices, etc. So bring in Force of Vigor, bring in Swords. Take out or trim Daisies, Berserks, a couple of Spell Pierces. You just want to play a more control-y game plan. You want to be able to protect your creatures. I brought in Skrells here, of course, because it's the best card in the matchup by far. They need to get rid of it ASAP. So here they go. Turn 1 into Archon. That's really good. Now we do have Nobles, so I'm not extremely unhappy here. I figure that as long as they don't have a follow-up initiative creature, we should be good, but they just have it. So I feel like already this game is over. I'm just going to play Noble here because I need to be able in a certain turn to have the mana that I want to. Next turn I want to play Threat into Swords. But again, not feeling particularly good about this situation. And then they even get rid of Noble, so I'm like, yep, that's game. I do want to point out again, my analysis so far was extremely on point, right? I was expecting fast degenerate combo decks and Delver, and that's the only thing we've been facing. Because yes, I do think that Initiative is a fast degenerate combo deck. Okay, I'm going to play. Opening hand is fine. Not excellent, but fine. Elf, play. Let's see if they have an answer. If they have Solitude, they probably just use it ASAP. There we go, Solitude, playing it in their turn to play around Days, as they should. I have Inkmoth left, so that's okay. Very afraid of Chalice, but yeah, nothing I can do about it. Just gonna play my threats. Spreading out threats is very good against Initiative. So they have Archon. Honestly, Archon is not that big of a deal right now. Gonna play my Misty Rainforest. Sure, it enters stab, but well, whatever I can do about it. Just gonna search up a land right now so I don't forget. Slam in, and this is just going to be a returning pattern. Let's see if they can race me. I find Invigorate. I'm just going to slam in, pop it off now that I can. So again, if they have Solitude here, so be it. You can't play around everything. You need to make him have it. And usually, if you're able to get in for one pump spell, that's good enough because they rely on, you know, a fast clock and winning very, very quickly. But sometimes, you know, it's just not good enough. Looks like they did draw into another Solitude. Now they have 2 cards in hand, so I would just want to draw one of my Force of Vigors I brought in. Statistically, every 20 cards should have a Force of Vigor because I'm playing 3. So I know like drawing Force of Vigor is not unlikely, especially because I've now seen 18 cards. And you know me, I like playing statistically. And then we find our Force of Vigor. Exactly as statistics dictate it. So they're gonna Simian Spirit Guide. Boom. And I'm just going to destroy Chalice and Mox. We Swords Away the Archon. Ponder. Find a bunch of threats. I'm actually here not going to go for the kill, which is maybe interesting. But I decided I want to play it safe because now they need to have double removal spells, and without them having access to white mana, that's just not a thing that I'm expecting to happen. So, sideboarding choices really paid off, and Force of Vigor was an all-star. Nice. Let's go to round 8. So for round 8, a deck I really haven't played against since forever. So no spoilers, but you will see soon enough what I mean. So I'm on the draw. Hand's pretty good. I have Force. I have Brainstorm so I can find what I want. And I'm playing as freaking Slivers out of a Cavern of Souls. Slivers, honestly, a buy for Infect. Almost always a buy. So I'm like, yeah, this is going to be fine. I just need to find the threat and we're going to win very, very quickly. So Brainstorm end of turn. I have another one left. Okay, not excellent here, but I'm not going to complain. A bit too much counter magic here. But well, I have a Brainstorm, so I can probably get rid of it. Here we have Destiny Elf. They have Dismember. I'm going to counter Dismember because what else am I going to do, right? They have another one though, so I'm like, yikes, that's pretty scary. But okay, so be it. Depending on if I just find my Berserk, I can kill them out of nowhere. Or if I find Blooded Agents, same thing. But double Dismember and another Wasteland, that's unfortunate. So there's my Blooded Agent, so I'm like, okay, this could be good enough. Let's see if they can race me. Usually racing Infect is just not a thing that can happen. But if you have double Dismember, that's a nuisance. So I'm going to block the Sliver there, because I know that Elf is never going to get through anyway. So I need to draw a Pump spell, and we don't find it, so we lose. Yikes! These members are really what killed me. So yeah, as you can see, I said it's a buy for Infect, but you can still lose. They had a very good combination of spells, and I was not able to compete. Alright, let's go to game 2. Being on the play definitely helps against this deck. Oh yeah, sideboarding. Pretty straightforward, honestly. You saw how bad counter magic was against them. You really want to have swords, so you bring in all the swords, and that's pretty much it. Take out 4 Force, take out 4 Swords, and then I also took out 2 Spell Pierce, bringing 2 Force of Vigors, because very often they rely on Ether Vial. If you can stop the Ether Vial from resolving, that's pretty easy. So, I have a turn 2 kill. I don't need Swords because I don't have white mana. So, I can't see how we're going to lose here unless they go for Chalice. Unless they go for Cavern of Souls into a threat. We can kill them. And even then, I still have a skill of Berserk, so it would have... We can never lose in this situation, honestly. Because even if they block, I'm going to deal trample damage, so I'm just going to say, yeah, you're going to be dead. Easy. Last one. Game 3 was a bit longer, if I remember correctly. So I'm on the draw, of course. Pretty good hand here. On the draw, you swap forces for daisies. Being able to start with a noble is always nice. Feels very good indeed. You should fire off your forces sooner than later. Because, again, they have Cavern. It's nice that they wasteland my Tropical, because that means I get to keep my Inkmoth Nexus. Here we are going to see Cloud Shredder Sliver. Gonna counter that. We can't have flyers now, can we? I already have scale up, so I just need to find one more pump spell and kill them, and we draw into Invigorate. Nice, that means I don't have to brainstorm. Otherwise, I could have brainstormed and would have won that way. So, as I said, Slivers is just... What Slivers wants to do is wants to aggro other people out of the game before they get to do something, but you can't race Infect. I've said this so many times, you just can't race Infect. That's just not a thing that's going to happen. Alright, so that was my run for the Manatraders series. Very, very happy with my run indeed. We went 7-1 for a 88% win rate, which was pretty damn good. We finished so with a 71% win rate, where I could have played tighter probably because I was already placed, so I definitely didn't play the tightest I could have, but still over 70%, so very nice. Cool, that was my placement games. Very happy with that. If you have any questions about the list, let me know, and I should be able to record at least once a week again, so I will be back. Not sure what I'm going to be doing next. Probably Modern. I want to try some Lord of the Rings cards. I've been seeing one of them, like in an Elven card. For 1 green, you get to dive 3 deep, and you get to see a land or a creature. I like that in Infect this to search up Crusader or to dig for it. So I'm going to probably try that out. But if you like this, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. And we'll see each other soon again. Alright, bye.